The IRS just cannot get these advanced child tax credit payments right. I'll give you an update and tell you the most common mistakes and what you can do about it coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, I did a video explaining the advanced child tax credit, number one, the new child tax credit, and how they're wanting to and starting to pay those tax credits out, those child tax credits out on a monthly basis. Now, at the time I'm recording this, they are trying their darndest to make this a permanent feature in the tax code. As of right now, they haven't passed anything yet. So as of right now, this thing is going to end and the drama will be over at the end of this year. But I have a sneaking suspicion they are going to pass it and it's going to be extended. But here's how it works. Way back long ago, your child tax credit for any kiddos that are under the age of 17, you got $1,000 if your income was low enough, okay? And then the Trump tax cuts, and I hate to even say that, but okay, that's what Trump tax cuts. Then moved it to still 17 and below, but instead of 1,000, you got 2,000. And the income that you're able to have for a married filing joint tax return, you could still get that even if your income was up to 400,000, and then they've indexed that with inflation or increases. So that's the plan up until most recently. This year they made a change and they've moved it to $3,000 for kids, but if you have a child younger than age 6, then it's $3,600. From age 6 up to 18, so it includes those kids that are 17, you get $3,000 as long as your income, again, married filing jointly, is below $175,000. If you're head of household, it's $112,500. If you're single, it's $75,000. Okay, so the math is easy. If your income's above that, then you start having to give up. They phase out some of these tax credits until your income's so high that it gets down to that $2,000 level, which was the original level from the Trump tax cuts. And then you'll get that amount all the way until your income is at that 400 and some level, the previous phase out, and then it will start dropping again, could go all the way to zero. Wow, pretty simple, right? Very clear, not at all. And in addition to that, to add to the confusion, or actually to try to add it as a benefit, they wanted to start paying these numbers out monthly to you starting in July of this year. And so because that's half a year, you're going to get half of your tax credit instead of on your return in advance on a monthly basis, okay? I just had the feeling this was going to be a nightmare, and it has turned out as much. And so I encouraged you, listen, if you're comfortable doing so, log into the system, a portal, I've got the link below, where you can go in and say, yeah, I don't want anything to do with these advanced tax credits, just add it to my tax return like normal. That's what I did. A creepy experience. It was very creepy. Had to go through and answer a whole bunch of questions, had to have them scan my face, this ID me feature. I still get the heebie-jeebies, the fact that I actually did that. But I was like, listen, this is gonna be a mess, just opt out. I don't wanna deal with this. So I did. And then the first month rolls around and we get a check. We get a check in the mail, which I've never gotten a check from the IRS. Anytime we get a refund, I typically owe, but anytime we get a refund, it's direct deposit. Why did they send me a check? I have no idea. And it was for one of the kids, and I've got 3. And it was the wrong amount. And guys, I shared that with you in a video a few months ago, but I've heard similar stories from tons of people. And Josh Gregory, obviously one of the brainiacs on the Wise Money Show every Saturday right on this channel, he shared that his experience has been a nightmare as well. Several clients have been saying, even randomly, I was doing a live radio interview a few weeks ago, and one of the hosts was like, wait, like, this is what's happened to me. And he was telling me this unbelievable story about how his situation was botched. And so guys, the IRS is just not getting this right. So how are they messing it up? There's basically 3 ways that they're screwing it up. Number one, they're giving you the right amount, but for the wrong number of kids. I've seen this and I've heard it from several people. They've calculated the right amount based on your 2020 tax return, and you believe 2021 that's going to be the same, but they're giving you that correct amount, but not for all the kids that you would normally claim, which I have no idea how they could do that, but apparently that's one of the main mistakes, okay? Sort of happened to me. Next, they could be giving you the wrong amount, but for the right number of kids, okay? So they could have misunderstood or miscalculated what your income is supposed to be, and so they've said, well, based on your income level, you should be eligible for this for X number of kids. Could have the number of kids right, could have the wrong amount, okay? And then there's my situation. They could give you the wrong amount for the wrong number of kids. Again, they were giving us just one instead of three, and it was the wrong amount even for just one child. So what do? Well, you turn your video on, complain about it, and share it with the world. After you do that, what should you do? Go to the IRS portal. Go to the IRS portal. It's linked below where you can actually log in and look at your profile, how they're coming up with the number, and see if anything looks wrong, okay? If your income numbers are wrong, if they're mailing you a check, you want to have it go to a bank account, whatever. I mean, you could have looked at the article below. That's linked as well. And I don't agree with what the author is saying about, well, here's why the IRS is getting this wrong a lot. That doesn't line up. Those reasons that are listed in that article does not line up with my experience, doesn't line up with most of the folks that I've talked to. So anyway, so number one, if this is happening and yours is wrong, first go to the portal, see if you can fix what the problem is. Second, and this I would tell you anyone, but especially if it's wrong, track what you've been receiving. Guys, if you think it's a mess now, just wait until you have to file your taxes. Wait until you have to file your taxes. You're supposed to get a note in the mail saying this is how much advance credit you received. But listen, we saw that with the stimulus this past year. Those were wrong too, many times. So you've got to have great documentation of how much advance child tax credit you've received so that when you go to file your return, you don't miss out on any dollars. Trust me, I'm assuming this is going to be a disaster for me and for several others where you say, hey, you sent me this. It was the wrong amount. It should have been this. This is the credit I'm putting on my return. I'm sure that's going to slow down refunds and slow down processing of returns. I'm sure of it, but doesn't change. You've still got to have great documentation of what you've received and when. And the final thing you could do, we've got 2 months left. You can go in and opt out of it. You can. I did not like that process. And apparently Josh Gregory told me the reason why I opted out but still received a check is because my spouse needed to opt out as well. I did not see that anywhere, or maybe it wasn't there. That notice wasn't there, but you could, if you're comfortable scanning your face and answering all those questions and uploading your ID and all that sort of stuff, you could go in and opt out as well. Because even though there's 2 more payments left, I do suspect this is part of whatever the agenda is that finally gets passed. I expect it to be part of it. I really do. Once you open this this can of worms, I don't think you can stuff them back in. I think it's higher. It'll feel like a tax cut if you lower it back down. It's going to, maybe some people are getting the correct amount on a monthly basis. You can't all of a sudden pull that back. I think that'd be very difficult to do. So work with your CFP and your CPA. This is once again another tax planning item that you've got to be aware of. Work with them on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, especially one that's doing tax planning with you, you can always contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. It's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.